In the previous video, we have seen the step-by-step Pandas code over EDA. And in this video, I will walk through the Streamlit app code step by step. Here is the app. Streamlit is an open source Python library that makes it easy to create and share custom web applications. And if you haven't installed, please install Streamlit. It's pretty handy especially when you're trying to create interactive apps. So I will start importing the libraries which are required for this app. I will import Streamlit as ST, and also I will import Pandas as PD. And additionally, I will import Plotly Express as PX. This library, I'm going to use it to show the visualizations in the app. And once I have imported the libraries, the next step is to try to give a title here. So let me start using all the functions from the Streamlit library. And let me type in st dot. As shown here, you have all those options here. In this case, let me try to type in title. And once I type in title, and I can add the name here. So let me type in title here. And title in the parentheses, within the quotes, I will add the text to display. In this case, this will be Uber Data EDA. And once I do this, and I save the file, and I will try to open up a terminal, and in the terminal I need to use a command streamlit run, the name of the file. And let me just go to view. I'm using VS Code, and click on terminal, and I will add this line here. You don't have to add Python -m, but in my case I had to write that streamlit run and the file name. That is enough in most of the cases. Once I run this, and as soon as I run this, a new window will open up in the default browser. And this is the output which we have expected, right? So once I'm happy here, let me try to build the app step by step. The next is I need to add the data path. I have added the data path. And let me also load that data into a variable. So let me say df equal to pd.readcsv. Because this is CSV file, I'm using that function. And I will add the data path here. I will add the data path here. And once I do that, and next is I have to display this in the app, right? So I will use st.dataframe. And I will pass this df as the argument. And I will try to get sample 3 rows. That way we will be able to see the sample 3 rows there. As soon as I save this file, on the right you can see the file has changed. I will click on always run, and the sample rows are shown from the data. This is pretty cool. This is the first step. So the next is we will try to maybe add more details here so that it will be useful for us. Let us try to clean it up. And I will try to define a function which is load data. And load data and without any arguments there. And let me say data equal to pd.readcsv data path. And this is the function. And this will be helpful in case if I want to use more transformations, right? So within the function itself, I can add. I will return data. And once I return data, and I will try to add a caching decorator. st.cache data is a Streamlit decorator. It is used to cache the results of functions that return data. And the primary purpose is to optimize the performance, right? So whenever these applications are running, you're clicking on some buttons or anything there, it will avoid redundant computations and data loading. So that's the reason why we add this decorator. And I will add this part here, and I will try to add the data here instead of df. So let me say data.sample. Nothing changes if I save and run. So let me just try to make sure that I add data equal to load data, then display this data frame, right? So nothing changes. I saved and nothing has changed. It's the same thing, but everything is within that function, right? Now that that is done, let me, this is an interactive data frame on the right. So you can click on any of those columns and sort them. And let me try to add additional things here. Let me add the date column and the time column. Remember, we have done that in the previous video. So I can start adding more lines of code here. That way, everything will stay within this function. And since it is under the decorator, there is no redundancy. Every time any computations are done, those computations and data loading will be the duplicity or the redundancy will be taken care of. It is avoided. So that's the reason why we are adding everything in that. And the next is we are changing the data types. I mean, all these things we have done in the previous video, and we are trying to change the data type of time column and date column. And let me try to paste the code to save time. So let me try to add more lines of code here. So let me add the more code here, and I'm adding new columns here, R column, and I'm creating a bin, time bin there. And also I'm adding a is weekend column if weekday is greater than or equal to 5, and other additional columns. So whatever we have done in the previous video, I'm just trying to add those lines of code here, and everything is within this load data function. And as shown here, all those columns are being added, and day of the week, month name, is weekend, all those filters, etc. And everything is the same whenever I save the file, because I'm not trying to show anything in the app, right? So everything is the same. So I'm trying to add more lines here, so that way it makes sense, right? Everything will stay within that function. And next is we will try to load the data, but I thought I will add additional information so that it will be useful for the user, right? So for example, if you tell the user, if you can show in some way that the data is being loaded, so what I could do is I can use another function, st.spinner, and within that, within the codes, I can add, say, waiting for data to load. So that way, when I run this file here, right here itself, I can see that there is some kind of a display on the web page, so that the user will know that the data is being loaded. If your data is, say for example, it is pretty large, it takes a while, right? Within that time frame, there is a spinner. That way, user also will know the data is being loaded. Now, in our case, the data is pretty small, so it doesn't matter. So I will add st.write, and I've just moved the data equal to load data within this with st.spinner code block. And once I save this file and run, and you will get a display, Uber data has been loaded. So this way, at least the user will know that the data is being loaded. So now that we have taken care of the basic steps here, what I thought is, if you have a sidebar on the left as shown here, it will be pretty useful, right? So user can make selections there. So let me try to type in sidebar, and I will try to use st.sidebar dot write, and within that quotes, within that bracket, st.sidebar dot write, and within that parenthesis, within the quotes, I can write about data. And once I type in about data, and I want to make sure that there is a detail ready for the user to be looked at about the data. So when you're trying to use this part, unsafe allow equal to true means any kind of HTML code you write, that will be displayed, right? So that is the reason why we have added that part. And with st.sidebar.expander, I can use expander so that you have first line is about data, as we have already seen. I want the user to use that expander, and once they click on that expander, the data will be shown. Whatever the details of the data will be shown. So let me just type in, please click here to get the data details. And once I type in, then I can try to type a small message here. I will type in st.markdown, and within the parentheses, within the quotations, I will add some kind of message. This is the data, right? And once I save this file, as you can see on the left, on the right in the window, if I click on that caret, I can see that this is the data. So let me try to paste the code here to save time. Let me just go ahead and copy the code and paste it here. And this is the complete code. So this way, once I save this, this is shown to the user whenever they make click on that expander. I will save this, and if I click on that part here as shown here, the data details are shown about the data. So this is the first step. Now that we have just started using sidebar, we can push everything, all the other selections into the sidebar, right? So let me just go ahead and maybe use the sidebar again. Let me just go ahead and type in sample 3 rows maybe. So let me just type in st.sidebar dot, I will say markdown. I will try to type in additional messages, say please make selections. So the first step is we have created an expander so that the user can see what is the data is all about. And the next is we will try to add a message in the sidebar itself. That way this will kind of a queue for the user to make selections, right? So next is I will try to add a little bit code here. For example, if I want to show sample 3 rows, I can add that part here. So I can say that if st.sidebar, I want to give a check box to the user, right? That option, I will use st.sidebar.checkbox. Within the codes, I can write a small line, say show sample 3 rows from the data, sample 3 rows. And also for the value, I will use false, so that we don't want any pre-selections. That's the reason why I've added that part here. And next line will be st.dataframe, and I will use data.sample 3, because I wanted to show sample 3 rows after the user makes selections, right? So once I save this, and if the user selects that checkbox, those sample 3 rows are shown in the browser window. Perfect. So now that I have done this, I will try to copy the code and paste it here to save time, so that the app will be in a perfect way. That is what we wanted, right? So let me just paste the code here and paste it here. This is the complete code. And this way you have a line message saying that, hey, please make your selections. And once the user selects make selections using the checkbox, those selections are shown. So now that this part is done, we will try to add more lines here. Say, for example, if I want to show the key metrics, let me type in the key metrics, because we wanted to push everything to the sidebar so that the user has an option to make the selections. And these are the various things which we have computed, key metrics. So we have already looked at the code in the previous video. So let me just go ahead and copy that code here to save time. Let me just copy that. I mean, this includes the total bookings, total booking value, average booking value, average distance, and paid by cash, all that stuff as shown here. So let me just show you. This is total bookings, total booking value, average booking value, average distance, paid by cash. And you can pause the video and look at the code again so that it makes sense in case if you haven't watched the previous video. By pausing the video and looking at the code, you should be able to understand. These are the key metrics which we have computed in the previous video. And let me also add more lines of code here. So I wanted some variables for me to show them in the visualization. So let me add those variables: monthly average, and daily bookings, vehicle success as such. So let me just paste it here. So all these things are shown here. These are the variables, and you have your vehicle success, revenue, and cancel reasons, etc. So that this code block will contain all the key metrics and also the visualizations which are useful to be used in our Plotly charts, right? So let me uncheck that part here. And next is I have to use a sidebar.checkbox and give an option to the user, right? So I will say show key metrics and st.sidebar.checkbox, and within that quotations I will say show key metrics, and I don't want any pre-selections. So the next parameter will be a boolean. I will make it as false. So that way it will allow the user to make selection. And within this part, I will try to use st.write and add all that part here. So for example, I'll say st.write. Let me show you one sample before I type in the code. I'm using a format strings, and let me use that icon there and say total bookings quote. And I can add the value of the total bookings variable, which was already in the previous lines. We have computed that, right? So let me add in that total bookings variable here. Total bookings. And once I save this, and if I go to the browser window here, and once I let me just save this, and that is the total bookings, like I said. And once I save this, if I click on the checkbox there, show key metrics, only one will show because we have just seen only one line of code. Now that we have understood the logic, let me just go ahead and copy all the lines which I have typed up, and to save time, I'm copying that code and pasting it here so that all the key metrics will be shown, right? These are the key metrics. And this way we have the total bookings up until peak booking hour. All those things will be shown whenever the user makes selections. So let me just go ahead and save it. And once I save it, and all those key metrics are shown. Perfect. Now that this is taken care of, we have maybe we will try to show more details about the data. Remember, in the previous video, we have looked at the shape of the data. We have looked at the information, data.info, and describe, summary statistics, etc. Right? So let me also push that those lines of code here. So let me just go ahead and copy and paste the code here so that the additional information will also be shown whenever the user clicks on that checkbox. So let me just first type in if st.sidebar.checkbox, right? So let me just go ahead and copy the code instead of typing, because if I start typing, this video will be like 1-2 hours longer. I don't want to do that. That's the reason why I'm pasting the code to save time. So we have taken care of this chunk of code, and we have pasted the code additionally. So whenever the user uses the checkbox, get more information about the data as shown here, it will show you the shape of the data types, and describe, and also additional information which is helpful for the user, right? So the whole idea is this app is interactive. It is like a dashboard, so that whenever the user makes selections there using the check boxes, whatever the user wants to see, they can see by toggling the checkbox. Let me also add additional code here. So we are looking at additional code. Let me just go ahead and copy that code as well. And this will be st.write pickup group. So let me just copy that part, so that you'll know, you'll also see the booking status by R as a percentage. Let me copy this. Let me make sure that that is aligned. And once I save this, this is the additional information. So we have made sure that the user has many options there on the left hand side in the sidebar. So we have shown about data, we have shown the key metrics, and also any additional information. And similarly, we can add more information here. We'll add more checkboxes. We'll say that, hey, in case if the user wants to see the top 3 rows and bottom 3, the first 3 rows and the bottom 3 rows in the data, we can add that information here. Let me just go ahead and copy the code and paste it here. This is the code. So it will have a message in the checkbox so that the user makes selections, and those things are shown. The top vehicle type and bottom vehicle type, and the top 3 by vehicle type, by average booking value, all that stuff, right? So that way we have that information. In addition to, initially I thought I will show you the first top 3 and bottom 3, but I thought I will tweak this code and try to add this information so that you have top 3 and bottom 3 based off of the average booking value. And let me just use that part here. Top 3 is taken care now. Let me paste the code here. And once I save this file, on the right, you can see you have that option of checking that box. So let me use the checkbox. It will show you bottom 3 vehicle type by average and top 3 vehicle type by average. So this part of it is also taken care. Next is we have also computed pivot table and cross tab, right? Remember in the previous video. Let me also push those lines of codes here, code lines, sorry, those code lines here itself. So I will say pivot table data equal to, let me paste that code here. So let me paste that code. This is the pivot table data variable, and I've used 2 columns for the index and 2 columns for the values. I've calculated mean, and in the same fashion which we have done in earlier code blocks, once a user checks on the show pivot table, the pivot table is shown. This is perfect. And similarly, let me also show the cross tab. And remember, we have also computed this cross tab in the previous video. And I will say show a cross tab. And I will create a variable and store the cross tab relation. And here, and I will use the pd.crosstab method from Pandas library. And I will use booking status and vehicle type, and I will try to get the information as a percentage. Let me go ahead and copy the code and paste it here. And this is the code, this is the variable, and I will use st.sidebar checkbox again to show this cross tab. Once I save this file, and let me just go ahead and save it. And again, if I make selections in the browser window, I should be able to see the cross tab as well. We have shown the pivot table in the previous line chunk of code. And this way we have a cross tabulation also. And in case if you want, you can pause the video and look at the code. And once I make the selection here, display cross tab, frequency of variables in a table, this is shown. These are the index columns, and these are the values. I'm computing the mean value there of ride distance and booking value. and that cross tab is also taken care of. The next and final step is for us to show all the visualizations, and I've used Plotly. So once I am ready to show the visualizations, I can use the sidebar option again. Again, I will try to use the st.sidebar.checkbox, and I will type in the visualizations. So let me just go ahead and copy the code to save time. Let me just copy all the lines of the code. I will show you step by step. These are the various visualizations which are available whenever a user makes selections. So first part is it will give you a checkbox visualizations. So whenever user toggles that checkbox and makes selections, a line chart is shown first, and next is another visualization, which is a pie chart. And the next visualization will show you the daily bookings line chart. And we have also added a couple of more visualizations. All these things we have already computed in the previous video. And I am just trying to use the same lines of code, but I've added additional Streamlit information so that this will be displayed as an interactive app. These are the various visualizations. The time bin visualization is the last one. And once I save it, I have a checkbox for visualization. So I will increase that window. And this is the line chart. So you have an option to make selections within the visualizations. You can select any of those charts. For example, I click on line chart. This is displayed. This is right distance by month name. And this is a pie chart, booking status. Different options are there, right? Completed and all those values. So you can, this is an interactive chart so that you can click on any of those options and enable and disable them. And this is the daily bookings line chart. And the next one is a success rate by vehicle type. And another one is a revenue for completed rides by payment method. And the next one is a cancellation reasons. So like I said, this is an interactive plot. Plotly is pretty helpful in those cases. This is like a completed dashboard, right? So that user can make the selections and see whatever information they are seeking. So this is the cancellation reasons customer. And the next one is a cancellation reasons driver, a column chart or a bar chart. And the final one will be the time bin. So that we have shown about data, we have shown the key metrics, we have shown the additional information, we have shown the pivot table, we have given options for cross tab, and finally we have also given option for visualizations. So this is pretty cool, and in a short time we were able to build the app step by step. These are the various options available within that browser window. You can also click on deploy, and you can use the Streamlit Community Cloud, and you can deploy and follow all the steps. There are many tutorials which will teach you, or in case if you want, you can deploy this app elsewhere too. Based on your needs, you can do all those things, right? So this is, for example, if I click on Community Cloud, you can create an account, GitHub, and all that stuff, right? It's pretty easy and user-friendly. Once you read the documentation or probably watch other videos, you will get easy understanding, and you can deploy whatever app you have created. So in a short time, we could understand. We have looked at the Python Pandas step-by-step code in the previous video, and we have used those lines of codes and created this Streamlit app. This is perfect, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.